Good evening and welcome back to another episode of Gear Toward Gear. I'm glad you're here, and today we're going to be talking about gear so nice you just had to buy it twice. Now, having said that, while I'm getting set up on the tripod here, when I say nice, I don't mean that in the materialistic sense, in that these are all super high quality, nice pieces of gear. Actually, nothing on this table costs more than $35, maybe $40. However, there are a number of knives, as you can see in front of you, and a couple flashlights that I just really, really love for their utility, for their, being budget friendly, and being the types of knives in terms of style and dimensions and weight that I tend to prefer personally. And so when I find a knife that I just really, really love, I'll buy a second of that particular piece of gear. In this case, mostly knives and a couple lights. And the reason for that is first of all, I'm a little OCD. And so I want to have a backup of these particular knives and flashlights so that if I lose it or if it gets discontinued for some reason, and mine gets lost or just thrashed, and I wish I had another one, I know that I do have a backup available. Having said that, I do have a number of other knives that I carry frequently that are much more high quality, that find their way into my EDC rotation. But these are kind of mainstays that I carry pretty frequently, and like enough to have a backup in the box that's never used. None of these knives that are boxed have ever cut anything, and the flashlights have never been illuminated. Now, let me qualify. One additional statement would be that this doesn't refer to collections. So I probably own 125 to 150 knives between folders and several fixed blades. So for example, I have probably 6 or 7 Skylines in all different variations, blade steels, colors. Same thing with the Rat Model 2. I've got a bunch of Spyderco Dragonfly 2s. There's just certain knives that I really like, and I'll buy kind of all the different color options, all the different steel options. And that's kind of part of my collection. This is not that. These are knives that I just want to have one duplicate in the event something happens to it. I always know that I have a backup. And what you'll notice looking at these knives, for the knife guys out there and gals, you'll probably recognize most of these immediately and notice a few things. 1, they're all budget friendly. 2, they're all very lightweight. 3, they all have about 3-inch or less blade lengths. And that just speaks to my personal preference when it comes to EDC carry. I don't generally carry a defensive knife unless I'm going somewhere where I can't legally carry my concealed firearm. And if that is the case, I'll certainly throw a 4 or 5-inch bladed knife or a fixed blade on me and carry that. And so this isn't everything I carry, or I should say the only knives that I carry, but these are some of my favorites that are just very high value, very high utility, and I just like them quite a bit. And so I want to quickly go through each one with you guys, give you some brief specs, and then I'll ask you guys for some feedback here at the end, and also provide an update on my upcoming giveaway. So we'll start over here with the Gerber US1. So this is a lockback design, and this particular model is, I believe, exclusive to Walmart with the stonewash blade. Generally, you're going to find these with a black coated blade. If you look on Amazon or on Gerber's website, you're not going to see the stonewashed blade. And so I bought a second one just in case. This is 420 HC steel, 2.6-inch blade length, 1 ounce, and it costs $15. It's a glass-filled nylon handle with some rubber inlays. And again, that's a back lock with a nail nick to open. Super comfortable, super ergonomic, super high value. And having said all that, it's made in the USA. So I had to have a second one. Moving on to the Kershaw Skyline. Everyone's seen this, has owned one or does own one. This particular one is in natural G10 or jade G10 handle scales. And this is the only knife or piece of gear on the table that's not identical to what's in the box. The one in the box is just the standard black G10 handle. This one just happened to be the most readily accessible Skyline that I had. So this wears Sandvik 14C28N steel. It's got a 3.1 inch blade, weighs 2.5 ounces, and in the black scales it's going to cost you $40. And it has G10 handles, as I mentioned. Liner lock, pocket clip, Kershaw Skyline, we all know and love it. Moving on, we got the K-Bar Dozier. Again, a knife that's been around forever. You probably have seen this, have owned one, or do own one. And you'll also see this marketed as the K-Bar Folding Hunter. And it has AUS 8A steel, a 3-inch blade length. It weighs 2.4 ounces and costs $20 with a Zytel handle and a mid back lock. Super, just comfortable, easy to use, no frills, straightforward, very high utility. And I just love the K-Bar Doziers. Moving on, we'll look at the Boker Tech Tool City 1. And so there's a couple of variations of this. There's I think they call it the Outdoor, which is the green scale. And again, I have that one. I have it in carbon fiber. But I really like this just standard black G10. The Tech Tool is a non-locking knife. It's a slip joint. And I tend to like some traditional or more traditional knives. I'm not all about the locking knives all the time. This is going to have 12 C27 steel, a 2.75 inch cutting edge. It's going to weigh 2 ounces and cost you about $40. G10 handle scales, again, slip joint, and a nice deep carry pocket clip, and a little glass breaker on the end there. So that is the Boker Tech Tool City 1. Moving on to the Victorinox models, and I did cover these in a previous video when I unboxed the Victorinox Bantam. This first one is the Swiss Army 1, formerly known as the Swiss Army Solo or Victorinox Solo. This wears the beloved Victorinox stainless steel on its blade. The blade length is 2.5 inches. It weighs 1.6 ounces. It costs $21 direct from the Victorinox website. I could not find this on Amazon. And it wears these aluminum or ALOX handle scales. So I love this knife, just the simplicity of one blade, no pocket clip, just kind of drop it in there. Something about it just speaks to me, and I really like that knife, so I had to have a second backup option. The other one is going to be the Victorinox Cadet, probably one that we all know and love, and again have owned or do own. This is going to again wear that famous Victorinox stainless steel, 2-inch main blade, same weight as the Swiss Army 1 at 1.6 ounces. And this will generally run you somewhere in the range of $30 to $35. Again, the ALOX handle scales. And it does have other tools included, which are covered in a previous video. And I just have this little pocket clip attached to it to kind of dangle from a jean pocket. So Victorinox Cadet. Next up is the Ontario Rat Model 2. And this is the original version with the AUS 8 steel. This is a smaller of the two Rat models that are available. Again, AUS 8 steel, 2.75 inch cutting edge, 2.8 ounces, and it's going to run you about $26 on Amazon, or really most retailers will charge about the same. It's got G10 handle scales, pocket clip, nothing, again, no frills, but just super comfortable, ergonomic, and very high utility and high value. Lastly, we've got a couple flashlights. So again, these are not my best flashlights, my most expensive flashlights, but ones that I really enjoy. And these are both the Olight i3T EOS, both the original black version and the copper version. I talked about these both at length in my last video, so if you want a little more information, you can check out that video. But again, slim, lightweight. It's not a huge chunky light, although the copper one is quite heavy. Really easy to use, 2 settings, pocket clip. It's a flashlight, right? So these are the pieces of gear that I just felt like I needed a backup to my backup. And I'm curious to know from the viewers, A, do you do this? Do you buy a second copy of a particular piece of gear and not open it and just have it as a backup? Or am I crazy? I know I'm a little OCD about my collections and my organization and things like that, but I'm wondering if anybody else does what I do. And if so, what are your kind of favorite or most carried or most beloved items that you have extras of? Because I'd love to hear from you and see if there's something that I'm missing here, maybe something that I've not heard of or that I could add to my collection. So I'd love to hear your feedback on that. And again, having said all that, I'll probably, my next video will likely be kind of like an EDC pocket dump. And you may not see one of these knives come out of my pocket. I carry a lot of different knives and flashlights, but these are ones that I just really like for their being lightweight, high value, kind of the size, kind of the package that I tend to prefer. And most of these are pretty well-known, kind of beloved classics. And I just felt like I needed to have more than one. Or not necessarily more than one, but one that's just sits around and collects dust in its box just in case something happens. Now, you may be asking, what about other knives you love, like your Spydercos and your Benchmades and your Microtechs? Those are all great knives, and I have several that I love, ZTs and all kinds of stuff that's kind of fancy, high speed, low drag, expensive knives. I'm perfectly comfortable sitting a $20 flashlight in a drawer and leaving it there indefinitely. I'm fine setting a $15, USA made Gerber US 1 in a drawer and it collecting dust. I would not, however, be comfortable from a financial aspect buying a $300 knife and then buying a second one just because I really like it. Because to me, that just would be fiscally irresponsible. But with these, they're all very high value, and I feel comfortable spending the money to have a backup of each one. And again, what you're looking at is what's in the box, with the exception of the Kershaw Skyline. This one is black. The Dozier is the blue version because that's my favorite. But otherwise, what you see is what's in the box. And just to, I guess, maybe prove I'm not lying, I'll take the Swiss Army 1. You can hear that rattle around in there. I don't know if the packaging on these will allow you to hear it very well, but you can hear that Skyline rattling around in there. So these are indeed pieces of gear that have not been used. I did, however, with all of these purchases, I did open them one time just to ensure that there was no gross manufacturer defects or issues, or it was the wrong color or something like that. One that I can open pretty easily would be the Boker, because this stickers kind of come undone anyway. So I'll open it up, take it out, look at it, and put it back in the box, and it sits in a drawer. And when I open that drawer and see all these boxes, I smile. So thanks so much for watching. Again, please like, subscribe, share this video, and give me your feedback on whether or not you do this or if I'm just crazy. And if so, what are your favorites that you have multiples of? And again, don't forget, we have a 100 subscriber giveaway coming up. So the second we hit 100 subscribers, I'm going to go ahead and initiate that giveaway. And I'll tease once more, which I've done in a couple other videos, that one of the brand new pocket knives that you'll receive as part of that bundle that I'm going to give away is one of the knives on the table right now. And as we get closer, I will officially announce exactly what's going to be given away. And as I've mentioned before, it'll be at least 2 knives, at least 2 flashlights, and some medical gear. So thanks so much for watching. I appreciate your time. And again, please leave me some comments and let me know if I'm crazy or not. Talk to you soon. See you on the next video.